I want to teach for a few minutes on one of the 5 qualities that we all need to develop to make ourselves promotable. So a quick review of the 7 stages that I teach that will lead you to working like no one else, that will lead you to truly meaningful work. The 7 stages are: get clear. That's where you're getting clear on who you really are and what you were created to do. How do you do that? We look at talent, what you do best. We look at passion, the work you love to engage in. And we look at mission, the results of your work that matter deeply to you. All right, once we're clear, then we look in the marketplace and we find that sweet spot and we find the role and we go, okay, I'm going to go this way. Now we go into stage 2. That's get qualified. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? How much is that going to cost me? How long is that going to take? All right, and when we come up with a plan and we execute on it, now we're qualified. While we're getting qualified, we can begin to walk in stage 3 at the same time. So stage 2 and 3 can be engaged at the same time. Stage 3 is get connected. Connections are the currency to progress. Period. We've all heard the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. That's why I wrote the book, The Proximity Principle. It says, in order to do what you want to do, you got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it is happening. Why? Because the right people plus the right places equals opportunity. There's the formula. Now, as we continue to get connected, opportunities knock on our door, and now it's time to get started, to step in. Get on that first rung of the ladder. If you're new to an industry or you're out of college or you're looking at a big transition in your life, a career switch. So that's when we get started. Stage 5 is get promoted. And that's where I want to spend a little bit of time talking about coachability. There are 5 qualities that all of us in our journey need to be developing. And it starts with assessing ourselves in these 5 areas. I'll list the 5, but I want to focus on coachable. The first one is likability. Are you likable? The second one is coachable. The third one is reliable. The fourth one is adaptable. And the 5th one is honorable. Now, today I want to talk about coachable because there's 2 key areas that we've got to focus on in learning how to be coachable. Because coachable people, they're the ones that do great things. They're the ones that get great opportunities. Because people go, you know what? They may not have it now, but I feel like I can coach them up. All right. So there's 2 things. Number 1 is instruction. Number 2 is correction. So a coachable person is simply a person who receives instruction and correction with a great attitude, and then takes the instruction or the correction and makes improvements. That's my definition. You can define it however you want, but that's pretty simple. So let's talk about instruction. All of us, as we will look to move along in life and get promoted and make progress, there will be times where we must learn something new. It's just that simple. And so you need to be instructed. And then as you are learning, you are taking the instruction, there will be times where you make mistakes and now we need to correct it. And let's also be honest here. Let's not kind of be in a Pollyanna world here. There are times where you're going to make bad decisions with people. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings. You're going to do something where you got to get called in and the leader goes, hey, you did this. You can't do this. This has got to change. So it is instruction and correction that we all need to become the best version of ourselves. But sadly, a lot of people don't like either one of those. They don't like to be told how to do something. They don't like it. Well, I don't want, I can get it. Just leave me alone. I'll get it. They don't like instruction. They're insecure or they're arrogant. See, the insecure person or the arrogant person is never going to take instruction because the insecure person is going to be like, well, what's wrong with me? Why are you telling me this? And they don't even understand what's happening. They're just being told how to do it. The arrogant person is the know-it-all. I don't need this. I got it. Thanks. I got it. Now, when it comes to correction, why do people resist correction? I think it's, again, a couple of factors. The people that don't like correction are the ones who just hate any kind of contradiction or being confronted. They don't like being told you're wrong, and they don't like the feeling of, oh, you're confronting me. I don't like that. It makes me very uncomfortable. So people who don't like confrontation, they're going to resist correction. And then there's the people that just have so much pride. They're just pig-headed, and they can't be told anything. Can't be told anything at all. They got such a wall up that they're just so defensive that they can't hear anything at all. Now, the first person is kind of afraid of confrontation. They're afraid of the sting of correction. That other person is more just got a wall up because of pain and hurt in their life. And so now they don't even let you get near them. My kids, when I take them in to get shots, they're like that first person. They're not liking it. They're squirming. They're crying. They're trying to get out of it, but they're not going to fight the nurse. They're not going to squirm. They're going to take it. All right? But the other person is that belligerent kid that just throws a fit on you, starts throwing their body all over the place, and it becomes almost impossible. That's really what it boils down to. And so understand this. Let's look at the positive side of this. For those men and women who really receive instruction and correction, it's a much, much prettier outcome. Much more effective outcome. I think of the great athletes who had all this raw talent, and they got with a good program that had good coaching. They knew they had a ton of talent, but they had a vision that was way, way bigger than their ego. And they said, all right, here I am, coach. Coach me up. Instruct me, tell me how you want it done because you've been in this a long time, and I'm going to do it that way. When I screw up and you get in my face, I'm in. I'll listen to what you say, coach, and I'll correct it. These men and women that do this, they're the champions of life. Because here's what happens. A person who begins to understand the importance of being coachable will allow themselves to be vulnerable and be instructed and coached. And then here's what's beautiful about it. Then they begin to crave it. They begin to crave learning because they're not resistant to instruction. They begin to crave correction so that they can be the absolute best as quickly as possible. It becomes a thing they can't get enough of. That's what I want for you folks. I want you to be coachable, not just to be able to be promoted, but to be the best version of yourselves. So embrace instruction, embrace correction, even though it's not fun sometimes. Because the result of embracing instruction and embracing correction is absolute maximization. So let me put the challenge this way. If you say, Ken, I dig the idea of being everything I was created to be the best version of what God created me to be, then you must embrace instruction and correction, because that desired future is not even remotely possible if you aren't coachable. So get with it. And here's my little question for you. Assess yourself. Do you look for instruction? How do you handle when people instruct you? Do you open yourself up to correction? How do you handle it when you get it? We can all get better here. And we're not always going to handle it well, but the fact that we handle it, each ensuing time that we must be instructed, each ensuing time that we must be corrected, we get better at it. And the results get better too.